to Daytime at 9. So you love your little furry friends, but are you sure you're taking care of your pet when it comes to their health? Heartworms are a silent killer affecting both cats and dogs. And as Alana shows us, if you don't catch it soon enough, it might be too late.
So you guys know you can always rely on me to keep you up to date whenever we're talking about the health of your pet. We're talking to Dr. Mixon. We're at Texas Veterinary Hospitals. Last time you saw this guy, he was in studio. Thanks for having us out here.
And thank you for being here. Yes, it's wonderful. It's a pleasure.
Okay, well, we saw Itchy Bob before, but we need to talk about something that Itchy Bob can, I don't know if we should say catch, or something that's common in dogs and we need to avoid, and that is heartworms.
Heartworms, exactly. Oof. They're a very nasty thing.
Yeah.
And one of the hard things as veterinarians is explaining this to clients because you can't see them. And many times, if you can show somebody what's going on, it's easier to comprehend. Okay. And with intestinal worms, you can see those, you know, people talk about tapeworms and stuff like that, but with heartworms, there's no way to see them. And that's where we have to do some testing and things like that. But as you can see here, we have some samples. And literally these worms live inside the chambers of the heart and the great vessels around the lungs. And that's where they cause their problem, because the sheer number of worms can lead to heart failure because the worms block the blood vessels coming out of the heart, and the heart just has a hard time contracting and pushing that out, and eventually that leads to heart failure. Oh. And many times you'll see the symptoms, you know, with coughing, hacking, exercise intolerance, weight loss, sometimes they'll even cough up blood. But it's basically all signs of heart failure that we see. All dogs should be tested for heartworms, or at least put on prevention when they're puppies. And so if they're not on prevention before 6 months of age, then we need to test them and get them on heart prevention. And heartworms are spread by mosquitoes. And here in San Antonio, we have mosquitoes year round. Oh, yeah. And even the inside only dogs, they still need the prevention because we get mosquitoes that come inside the house. And many dogs go outside to go to the bathroom. They can get bit by a mosquito at that point too. And that's how the heartworms are spread. So the mosquito bites the dog, that transfer of blood is where the larvae spreads from the mosquito back into the dog. They're very, very small and microscopic, but then they develop over about 4 to 6 months, and they turn into these large worms. And as you can see, this is actually a real heart, and these are the worms that came out of that heart. And as you can see, or hopefully you can see, there's actually worms coming out of the valves and the blood vessels of the heart. And so yes.
Can't imagine that in your family friend at home.
No,
and we would never know.
And you would never know, exactly. And that's the thing. So that's why testing is important, and year-round prevention is critical. Even if you miss a few months, that's still enough sometimes to allow those worms to get in there and cause problems. There are some nice, easy, and convenient forms of prevention now. There's the once-a-month tablets that have been very common. And then also there's newer products, like there's an injection that we use that lasts for 6 months. And that's been fantastic. So you don't forget anything. Well, at the end of the 6 months, we remind you to come in and get your next injection. So that makes it very convenient, and that way people don't forget.
Okay, so Dr. Mixon, I know we've mentioned just dogs, but is this something that cats can also contract?
Yes, it is. Yes, even though they're inside only, still mosquitoes can come inside the house and they can get the mosquitoes. And we did a study actually in-house a few years ago, and 8% of the cats that we tested were positive. Ooh. And so they don't show all the classic symptoms that dogs do. They show some different symptoms. That's something you have to talk with the veterinarian and get more information about. But yes, cats do get heartworms, and there is a nice prevention that we use. Actually, our flea medicine takes care of both heartworms and fleas.
Very good.
And so that's a nice, convenient way for the cats too.
Okay. All right. Hey, whether it's Itchy Bob the dog or Mr. Kittles the cat,
yes, Mr. Kittles,
they need to come and see Dr. Mixon at Texas Veterinary Hospitals to ensure that we don't have heartworms. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
And for more information on the Texas Veterinary Hospital or hospitals, they have several locations right there. Those are the addresses and the 3 different phone numbers. They also have a website, texasveterinaryhospitals.com.